Every day on this show, we do a segment called The Big I. It's about big ideas, innovations, and solutions to problems. Now, imagine if you could do this.
Let's see them. Put it on. Whoa! My body's gone. I know what that is. That's an invisibility cloak.
But what I'm about to tell you makes Harry Potter's invisibility cloak seem old school. Scientists have found a way to not only hide objects, but make entire events invisible. Imagine what this could mean. I want to bring in scientist Bill Nye, the science guy, to explain this to us. He joins us now from Los Angeles. Bill, this is really cool. I mean, a lot of us are talking about it. But when we talk about these invisibility cloaks, like the one that we saw in the Harry Potter clip, this is how it basically works, right? You're basically fooling the eye by bending light around an object, much like water that flows really around a pebble. But what we're talking about now is a space-time cloak that goes beyond that, as far as I understand it. So how do you make entire events invisible?
Okay, first of all, great. It's great. This is great. This is fabulous. Thank you for having me. But let me point out that the Harry Potter cloak is not real.
It's not?
Okay, you're with me? Yeah, that's not really a thing. So anyway, here's the idea. And you might have seen this on a James Bond movie. And I can tell you that they've experimented with it on fighter planes, where you would have an object, let's say a New York City taxi cab, and you would have some fiber optic material. This is the old way. Okay, you would have a piece of fiber, and then you have a bright light, and you would shine it on the wall. It would hit the fiber, and then coming out the end of the fiber would be this very same color, would be the bright white would come out the end of the fiber. Okay, that's the old way. If you have many, many fibers running around your device, the thing you want to hide, your taxi cab, then okay, then you can pull it off. But here's the idea. These physicists have come up with a material that would not be just fiber optic. Instead, it would have so-called metamaterial. This would be meta molecules, the next level of molecule. And they would control not only the speed that not only the light going through the material, they would control the speed of it. Now, we control the speed of light all the time. When you have a pair of eyeglasses or a magnifying glass, you are slowing the light down in the glass. And because the glass, in this case, is curved, the light comes out at different times on the other side of the glass. Well, suppose you could do that without curving the glass, and without having an enormous magnifier or whatever you call it in front of your taxi cab. Instead, you'd make the cab out of the very material. And then you would not only control when the direction of the light, but when it came out.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, I mean, you're the science guy, so bear with me here for just a minute, but this creates some type of, a gap in the light? And then this creates this sort of a blind spot in time? Is that how?
Well, in time, yeah. You would control when it came out of the fiber, when it came out of the other side of the fighter plane or the taxi cab or whatever it is you're trying to hide.
So how long does something like this last? I mean, how long does the cloak last that you could have this gap in time?
Right now, in the articles that I read about this, they're talking about things theoretically on a nanosecond, a billionth of a second. But wait, there's a little bit more, or if you will, a little bit less. They're talking about a tenth of that. So it would be a tenth or a hundredth of a nanosecond. So it sounds like an insignificant thing. Like, who cares? You can't even see it. Considerably less than the blink of an eye. Well, but the application of this may not be hiding taxi cabs or young magicians or Star Trek opposing starships. Instead, it would be controlling the speed of information in a computer. So you would be able to have the computer do two things at once. You would have a clock running that was doing something, and then you'd send the information off on another path, slow it down, control it, mess around with it, then have it rejoin the original signal at the appropriate time. And you would do this on the scale of atoms.
So does it matter?
Instead of even having transistors, like in my watch, you'd have you'd have zillions of switches.
Right. Does it matter what the light source is? I mean, if it was sunlight versus a flashlight?
Yeah. So traditionally, you can send any color light through a fiber. So this is white light coming through the fiber. That's all big fun. But if you take an individual frequency, like in this case red, and send red through it, then it might be easier to control. And then furthermore, you could have the red light doing one thing, the purple light doing something else, the green light doing something else, and then you would be able to compute at another scale, at another level. And this would change the world. It would be like comparing tube radios to a modern computer.
Well,
so this is very theoretical. But it's a great story, and I'm really glad you guys covered it. It's a cool thing. It could be the beginning of a whole new era in information.
It sounds like it can change the world, and with all that information, I got to tell you, pretty much rocked my world, because I'm going to need a whole nother session with you on the side, off camera, so I can better understand this. But I want to ask you...
Well, hit me the ball. It's big fun.
I know, but I want to ask you, I know you were a little concerned even about getting to our interview today because there was some traffic in Los Angeles. Are you concerned on a different topic here about that Carmageddon that begins tomorrow with the big 405 construction?
Okay, yeah, I'm concerned about it. Everybody, it's 3 days. For crying out loud. Can't you find something to do at home? And sure, there are people that must get to work, and we depend on those. There's service people that have to get to places.
Of course.
And if you go to a restaurant, you want to get waited. I got all that. But it's 3 days, everybody. We can do it.
There you go.
Furthermore, having our infrastructure, this big bridge that's in the way, having that look good reflects on all of us. It's let's make it look good. It's something we use all the time. Millions and millions of people see it every week. Let's take the time. Show some pride. It'll be fun, everybody. Come on.
Have a little staycation at home.
That's
all right.
Yeah.
Bill Nye, always fun to have you on. Thank you so much. And I'll call you later to get the full briefing on that cloak.
Well, it is exciting. I'm really glad you guys covered it. Thanks.
I know. Thank you.